Welcome everybody to the broadcast. I'm glad to have you in with us today as we're getting set to make a big announcement for NEA Report's future. We've got NEA Report's traditional breaking news coverage, as you all come to love and expect, also on the way, with situations unfolding late breaking this afternoon in Walnut Ridge. Several other details to tell you about too. Hang on everybody, we are just about to get set and launch the broadcast. Tonight on NEA Report, a threat against the Walnut Ridge Middle School and the full story from the entire weekend. How it began on Friday evening with panic stretching all across Lawrence County, and how this afternoon an arrest was made and the suspect is currently in custody. The full details on the way. Plus, a Forest City officer killed in his own home in West Memphis by a stray bullet. A tragedy from over the weekend, and the details coming up. The Attorney General of Arkansas stepping into the Adam and Eve lawsuit for Jonesboro and the adult store that's attempting to come in to Caraway Road. Plus, the Fword offending some in Brooklyn. Thunderstorms on the way this week, possible at least, and more. That's all next on NEA Report. Whoa, hi everybody, that's me. First up tonight, threats made against the Walnut Ridge Middle School had the entire community in a panic over the weekend, with NEA Report receiving a number of messages from concerned parents, some even telling us they were keeping their kids home from school today. It was all in relation to a threat that was made on social media. I guess we should call it an alleged threat as authorities continue to investigate it, but it's stated by an individual that people shouldn't go to school. On Tuesday, they said, at Walnut Ridge Middle School, the alleged threat insinuated or flat out stated, I guess, that a shooting was going to take place. This was shared so many times. We received it countless times as well. People were circulating it like crazy. It's one of those kind of situations where people are concerned and in a panic, but it's likely that panic was the exact goal of the person that made the threat. These types of threats are often made with the goal in mind to cause or to create panic, not necessarily to actually forewarn of something, although you have to take the kind of warning seriously because of everything that's going on in our country. It seems like once a week we're having a report on another awful shooting, a mass shooting, and oftentimes they're at schools. This area in particular knows exactly what that's like. Just up the road, 30 minutes away from Walnut Ridge, the West Side schools, they know precisely what it's like, just like the entire area does. Why someone would consider this to be acceptable joke material, no matter how old they are, it really has to call into question the mentality of the suspect, which should be examined closely. The suspect is in custody. I just want to mention that off of the top. The suspect, late breaking this afternoon, was arrested. We're going to give you the full details we have on that here in just a moment. Although the statement we received as of 10:30 this morning, there were no significant breaks, but authorities were continuing to work the case. It says they were working hard, following up with several interviews, and at some point throughout the day today, it seems like a lead was developed, and that led authorities to arrest the suspect. By the way, that statement from Captain Jordan Cooksey of the Walnut Ridge Police Department. He's been our point of contact through all of this. I know a lot of people still asking, and as far as we can tell, police chief is still on paid administrative leave there. The police caught a break in the case this afternoon, and they located the person who is said to have made the threat. That is according to the Lawrence County Sheriff's Office. I spoke with Lawrence County Sheriff Jeff Yates, who said that they were investigating the case this afternoon, and that the arrest was made outside of the Walnut Ridge city limits. By the way, you are looking at a Google Maps well, of Google Maps of the Walnut Ridge Middle School itself, but it was not in the city limits that the arrest was made. It was outside of the city limits. The suspect, a juvenile, not a student at Walnut Ridge, and it's unlikely that we're going to see any names from this released. You know, juveniles' names are not often released in cases like this just simply because they are most likely not going to be charged as an adult. Now, if charges are filed against this suspect, if the kid is 17 and turns 18 next week and authorities decide, yeah, we're going to pursue charges against the suspect as an adult, well, that could change the story. We may end up telling you the suspect's names, or the suspect's name, I should say, because it's thought to only be one individual. This is the statement that was sent out earlier today at Walnut Ridge Middle School. You can see the bobcat over there on the left. Actually, that really looks like a Bengal tiger, but I think it is a bobcat. It says a suspect arrested in regards to the threat that was made at Walnut Ridge Middle School. I would like to thank all law enforcement officers that worked on the case and helped make our students feel as safe as possible under the circumstances. You know, when you got a terrifying situation where you have a crazy person that starts posting threats on social media, it doesn't matter if they think, oh, it's a joke or what, because everybody else that picks up their phone and looks at it sees panic and worry, and especially moms and dads who they got to give their kids up all day long anyway to go to this place to learn, and now they're hearing on the news all day, every day, it seems like every week, that something else crazy is going on. This is a departure from the norm for a lot of the media outlets in NEA, because generally we don't cover these kinds of cases. We don't, because we don't want to give attention to, let's just speak frank with each other for a moment, to morons who would imitate this kind of behavior, because whoever would do this is an idiot, no matter what the defense is for this person's mental state or their life situation. Anybody that makes threats against a public school and threats against kids and causing parents to freak out is a goof, and this person is a goof to the core of the brain. No matter anybody I've ever known on their worst day saying people don't do this stuff, they especially don't do it in Northeast Arkansas, but anywhere. Right? That's just ridiculous behavior. And kids, if you're out there listening and you don't think about the consequences of your actions very often because you're a kid and kids don't do that, well, be the one kid that does think ahead before you do something like this. And if you've got a friend that's thinking of saying something stupid, tell them, don't. This is not something we can joke about, because it's not a joke. It's not a joke when 10 or 15 or more are shot. And we have to report on that, and people have to go to the school and look at the tragedy and see the life leaving human beings. And it may not seem real to you when you're looking at it on the phone. In fact, to some people, they've got this crazy whacked out idea that these are conspiracies and they're government created. It's not. It's people. It's everyday people that end up being victims. And when you make threats that worry an entire community, even if you meant it as a joke, it's no joke to anybody involved. Law enforcement, school officials, most importantly, parents. And that's probably something that whomever this child is, whomever this juvenile suspect is coming to reckoning with now, because he's going to have consequences for years to come from this. If he gets lucky, he'll have his record erased when he turns 18, but that won't erase the memory of what took place. It won't erase the people that know him, that know he did this in 20, 25 years, that will see this person on the street and remember him as the goof that made threats against the school. Those are situations, folks, that you can't undo. So even if you think that you might not be charged as an adult, and you may not, it's the memory and it's the effects that will last far beyond an 18th birthday. And that's why we can't reiterate enough how that these situations have to be treated just as law enforcement treated this. Serious, no matter what. And to the parents that have reached out to us in worry, I'm happy to report that as far as we can tell, your worry now can conclude. And as we suggested all along, this was most likely never a serious threat. We don't have that in official statement or official word just yet. We're waiting on investigators to find out more and tell us. However, remember always that these types, if they're posting something, they want to create a panic. Get it in the hands of law enforcement and then stop sharing it. Otherwise, you're playing into the hand of a deranged mind. The tragic wreck claimed the life of a Bay man over the weekend. It happened late Sunday in Craighead County, where William Thayer, 42 of Bay, was reportedly killed, according to Arkansas State Police. The State Police incident report said 11:45 p.m. Sunday on Craighead County Road 333, a 2001 Chevrolet driven by Thayer was traveling southbound on the county road when, for some reason, it left the roadway, and the State Police reported that it struck a tree, killing the driver. The report stated that conditions were listed as dry and clear at the time of the crash, and no others were listed as being involved. An absolute tragedy in West Memphis over the weekend, where a Forest City police officer lived and a Forest City police officer died. It was Saturday afternoon. It was just before 2 p.m. That's according to Fox 13 in Memphis. I've seen reports placing it at around 3 from ABC News, so there is apparently a disparity on the time depending on the reports. But we're going with Fox 13 on this one, which said just before 2 p.m. that at the Meadows Apartments on South Avalon in West Memphis, an officer was inside of his home. The officer had kids. The officer was killed by a stray bullet. They said some type of fight was taking place between these stinking gangbangers out in front of the guy's house. It's similar to the problems we deal with in Jonesboro, just like we were reporting last week, as a matter of fact, with the couple of shootings that happened here. It's these little gang members that run around with guns, and their guns solve all of their fistfight problems when their fists don't do the solving. The tragedies that hit the community from these types of incidents are as evident as ever with this case. Captain Joe Baker said that the Forest City police officer Oliver Johnson was off duty at the time, and he heard the gunfire, apparently was in his game room in his house, and he was trying to get to a safe location. It's what one of the reports said when the officer was killed. Just a tragedy. Our deepest thoughts go out to his family, the community, all police officers across the area. It's such an unnecessary death. And this man and his family from Earl, Arkansas, it's a tragedy. It truly is. Our thoughts, as mentioned, go out to Johnson's family. Authorities still looking for the suspect, as is so many times the case with these incidences. People don't talk, and that lets the suspect run free. If you have any idea who may have been responsible for this, please, for Officer Johnson, speak up and contact the West Memphis Police Department or your local law enforcement agency. I can tell you any law enforcement agency across the area will be eager to take a tip to help bring the person that did this to justice. We're continuing to follow the news in relation to the potential or pending, or however we're referring to it today, the possible opening of an Adam and Eve store in Jonesboro. If you're not familiar, Adam and Eve, an adult novelty shop that sells all sorts of items, but it's a state law that says that it can't be opened within a certain distance to churches or residential areas, daycares, and that has prompted the city of Jonesboro to attempt to deny the permit, I guess the conditional use permit, to the Adam and Eve store that wants to open on South Caraway Road. Well, now, since the lawyers from Adam and Eve are suing, it's now going to be in the hands of Arkansas Attorney General Leslie Rutledge's office, as the Attorney General's office has asked to intervene in the federal lawsuit filed back in February. This is because the Arkansas Attorney General's office is tasked with defending state laws, and in this particular case has decided that they will take up this the mantle of this battle as a potential verdict against this law could render it viewable as unconstitutional and perhaps nullify its effects across the entire state. It's going to, I guess we'll have to wait and see, but the motion states that the state moved to intervene for the sole purpose of defending the constitutionality of Arkansas Code Annotated 14-1-302, which defines an adult bookstore or video store as a commercial establishment offering for sale or rent any of the following items for its principal purposes: an instrument, a device, oh gosh, I'm going to have to start reading all this. Here we go. Or paraphernalia that is designed for use in connection with a specific sexual activity. And the lawsuit filed back on February 12th in Jonesboro. Attorneys for the business that are trying to open its doors at 1518 Caraway Road are saying, please, judge, declare this statute unconstitutional, saying it's too vague, and it, in other words, is making things hard on them. And that lawsuit describes their business as one that sells a combination of lingerie, adult apparel, costumes, games, novelties, massage oils, other things, you know, that you would find in one of those stores. I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens with the case and whether or not you're going to be able to leave McDonald's on Caraway Road and walk across the store and buy some lingerie and then walk about 15 more feet and go to church. That could be coming soon in Jonesboro. We'll just wait and see. So I've been waiting to tell you guys this news for a while now. For several months I've been working on something big, and I have finally gotten permission to break the big news. And the perfect place to break it, here on our broadcast. If you haven't noticed, since last fall, we started this little broadcast up, and it has steadily grown. It began with a few hundred viewers a day. It's a few thousand viewers. In fact, last week we had a few days where we had a few 10,000 viewers. That's not too bad either. Things have been going pretty good, and we're not going to stop this broadcast because you rock. And we're not changing a thing we're doing here on Facebook. We like having you join us every single day live. But what we are going to do is expand. And beginning in June, on June 1st, NEA Report will be on cable. This is incredible. To even be able to say that makes me feel like I'm in a dream. NEA Report, starting June 1st, will air every single weekday, 4 p.m., on Ritter Channel 21. Yes, their basic channel, a basic communication channel. That means you don't have to subscribe to the big package to get us. But we're going to try to give you some awesome stuff every single day at 4 p.m., similar to our broadcast that we bring to you live here first. Maybe a little bit of extra stuff that we throw in, and you'll be able to watch it on the big screen. Maybe you'll be at work at 4 p.m. in Jonesboro, or maybe you'll be at home, perhaps somewhere in Poinsett County or another community across NEA. Ritter offers service to many different households across Northeast Arkansas, and we're thrilled to be partnering up with them to bring the area's first new local newscast on cable ever, as far as I know. You'll have to correct me in chat if I'm wrong about that. I don't think any... I mean, there's others on TV, but I don't think there's one on cable. Well, now there's going to be. Hey. There's a cool new promo that my buddy Marcus Carlton at Ritter made, and I am stoked to get to show you guys this thing. It's way better than we deserve. So let's take a look. Watch this.
There's a new home on television for local news in Northeast Arkansas. NEA Report is coming to Ritter Communications Tubetown Channel 21. Beginning June 1st, get your first look at local news on Tubetown with NEA Report's Stan Morris Reporting. Every weekday at 4 p.m., Stan Morris Reporting covers local news stories and weather from around Northeast Arkansas. Beginning June 1st, local news comes to Ritter Communications Tubetown Channel 21 with NEA Report's Stan Morris Reporting.
We're stoked about starting this new chapter out for NEA Report and continuing what we're doing right here with you on social media. So we thank you all for staying with us and supporting us from the get-go, especially our wonderful sponsors, some of which we're going to hear from right now.
What a great day it is in Craighead County. You know, we got a very important election coming up, May 22nd. You'll get to choose your new judge. I hope and pray that you look at the issues at hand. This is a very, very important election. This will be the first 4-year term for your county judge. We're facing many, many issues, from school safety to road safety to drainage. We have plans in place. I'm coming in with a strong team of people with boots on the ground. We're going to make this a better Craighead County. We're going to be open and transparent. This is your office. It's always going to be an open door policy. And you know, I'm happy to announce I've got a team of volunteers. It's going to be called the Craighead County Green Team. We're going to clean up the ditches and roadways in Craighead County. With the resources that we have on hand, you're not going to see illegal dump sites and things like that. We're going to be proactive. We're going to make this a better Craighead County. My name is Jeff Presley, and I approve this message.
Haley Norris, Realtor. No. Should I make my hair go like this? Whether you need to buy, sell, or lease. Haley, can I use my hands? Or is that, where are my hands? Where do they go?
Just say
Haley.
Just say Haley.
Whether, You need my expertise. Haley Norris Realtor. Or even do a commercial lease. Haley Norris Realtor. Should I say Remax Real Estate Center or no? Is that too salesy?
No, that's good.
My average days on market is just 50 days. You need my expertise. And that means I'm putting more money back in your pocket.
Brothers Flooring on Highway 67 South in Pocahontas has all your flooring covered. Stop by our showroom Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and see all we have. Carpet with pad and install starting at $16.50 a square yard. Laminate with pad installed starting at just $3.25 a square foot. Every name brand of engineered and solid hardwood from $5 a square foot and up. Waterproof vinyl planks, wood look and tile look, attached cork pack starting at $3.49 a square foot installed. Ceramic and porcelain tile of all sizes and all colors. We build custom tiled showers from the floor up shelves and benches, tub surrounds, kitchen backsplashes like no other. Brothers Flooring, Highway 67 North in Pocahontas. Call today, 870-892-2525.
Well, if you're offended by the F word, you might accidentally see it in this next segment, but I promise you won't hear it, unlike last week on the show. It's the F word that has some offended in the community of Brooklyn in Craighead County, as a set of pink letters that are on the front of were on the front of a business in Brooklyn had some offended and worried because, my gosh, the F word. Emerald's Triangle, located in Brooklyn, had the pink letters on their window in support, and this is a quote from their website, of all those who have fought and are fighting breast cancer, or any kind of cancer, it says. The blog post by the store's team outlined that and discussed the reason why, but they were asked, they said, to take it down, quote, in consideration of the children. And so that was enough to get about 500 shares as of this morning on a blog post that they made about the subject. I'm going to show you the sign because since we're not on broadcast TV, hey, we can show you these things. So it's a beautiful ribbon in play is how they described it. You can see on the last two letters there. It actually technically doesn't even say it. It just looks like it says it, right? They did the pink breast cancer awareness ribbon on the right side of it, laid it to the right. And in their words, they called it a beautiful play on ribbon painted on our front glass, they said. They said in general, this is from their blog post, that most of the stuff they do at Emerald's Triangle is over the top. Hey, you gotta be over the top a little bit to get attention these days. We get it. They said, so in support of all those who have fought and are fighting, we think we all share this sentiment, not just with breast cancer, but with all cancers, it says. But it goes on to say, unfortunately, we were asked, rather told, to take it down. Respectfully, we might add, they said. So that's good. Somebody was nice about it. And the reason being that it might offend children. It was in consideration for children that we get this down. Yeah. It says we get it. We do in the blog post. It says, but what's the real reality here? We don't encourage vulgarity. We encourage compassion. And cancer specifically is rife with it due to what it has stolen from and how it has impacted all of us. That is what this blog post states. It says we did the right thing. I may not have been exactly happy about it, but they took this sign down. So no longer does it say, you know, what it says right there. Take it in full screen. Get me off the screen smiling for once. It's no longer there. This is the last you'll see of it, unless you read their blog post, which says in giant bold letters, and it has the K there too. They actually don't even have the K on the screen right there. I'm just telling you. I'm just saying. If you want to find out more information about that, you can actually visit their website. Let's see what it's called here. It's Emerald's Triangle, and you can go to their website at EMERALDSMMD.com. We're going to continue following this story. It's somewhat interesting, and we'll be interested to see what happens with it next. Hopefully none of you in chat were offended by the F word. We're not going to be able to keep showing that word pretty soon. We'll do it for now. It's time now for a look at your new Wave Wireless weather forecast. It's home of the $49 iPhone screen repair. Gorgeous week across NEA. Gorgeous week last week, too. But we do have a chance for some showers and thunderstorms to start popping up right around Thursday. Here's what it looks like according to the National Weather Service. 54 degrees for the low tonight with mostly clear skies. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 82. We'll cross over the 80-degree mark finally tomorrow. We're going to cross over it again on Wednesday, but partly sunny for then with a high near 83 and breezy as well. 25-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible on Wednesday. Thursday, we have a chance for showers and thunderstorms to start rolling in during the day. 30% chance during the day with mostly cloudy skies and a high near 83, but they become likely Thursday night into Friday, early Friday morning. It's after 1 a.m. Showers and thunderstorms are forecast to be likely with a low down to 68. Friday, a 40% chance for showers and thunderstorms lasting primarily in the early part of the day. As you move later into the evening, we're not even seeing a chance for precipitation right now. The high near 81 on Friday. And then on Saturday, a chance for showers and thunderstorms pops back up, but it's a slight chance, 30% chance right now. That lasts into Saturday night and is gone by Sunday. Right now, 71 degrees with fair skies in Jonesboro. Joining you live one more time to bring you the final headlines for the day. If you just joined us, let you know what's going on across Northeast Arkansas as we had late breaking news that began the show today with a threat against the Walnut Ridge Middle School having an arrest being made in the case. A shooting threat was allegedly posted on social media on Friday, causing a panic throughout the community of Lawrence County. An arrest made this afternoon by the Lawrence County Sheriff's Department, as confirmed by Jeff Yates, whom I spoke with a short time before we began the broadcast. Sheriff Yates said that the suspect, who is a juvenile, was not a student at the Walnut Ridge schools and lived outside of the Walnut Ridge schools, or lived outside of the Walnut Ridge city's borders. Thus, the Lawrence County Sheriff's Department had to take over the case. A Forest City officer murdered over the weekend in West Memphis. A stray bullet, possibly from a drive-by, some type of shooting happening in front of his house, hit the officer and killed him at his home. The Attorney General of Arkansas stepping into the Adam and Eve lawsuit, trying to defend the state law that Jonesboro is citing to prevent them from opening. That would be on Caraway Road. The F word on a building in Brooklyn, offending some. The Emerald Triangle using the words F cancer, but they actually said it, and then they took it down after they were asked. And thunderstorms on the way later this week. We're expecting to see them rolling around Thursday, possibly a few of them lasting into the weekend, probably late Thursday night into Friday morning when we'll see the most. That's going to do it for us on NEA Report today. Thanks everybody for joining us, and thank you again for being with us for that big news announcement we had. If you didn't know it, if you just joined us in the last part of the broadcast, oh my gosh, look at this. I'm bringing the thing up here. I was late. I didn't do it right. But anyway, big news. We're going to be on Ritter Cable, and that is going to start on June 1st. Huge, big deal. Bigly news for NEA Report. We're stoked about this announcement because it's going to allow us to bring more news to even more people. But if you're thinking to yourself, don't go away from my Facebook feed, don't worry. We're not going to. We're going to be on your Facebook feed. We're still going to be bringing you the news live on Facebook every day. It's just going to shift the times around a little bit, probably around 3 p.m., which is our time we aim for now, but we may end up having to do it a bit earlier. So we'll see as things progress, but it's big news for us. We'll show you that promo one final time as we head out the door. Thanks, everybody, for joining us on NEA.
There's a new home on television for local news in Northeast Arkansas. NEA Report is coming to Ritter Communications Tubetown Channel 21. Beginning June 1st, get your first look at local news on Tubetown with NEA Report's Stan Morris Reporting. Every weekday at 4 p.m., Stan Morris Reporting covers local news stories and weather from around Northeast Arkansas. Beginning June 1st, local news comes to Ritter Communications Tubetown Channel 21 with NEA Report's Stan Morris Reporting.